First question's from Brandon Sedge from the AJC. Go ahead, Brandon.
Hey Elizabeth, I wanted to see if you could take me through kind of these couple weeks of training camp, especially in terms of the coaching change. I know you've been here for a while. I know that you're kind of like a leader on this team. So how were you guys able to kind of transition from being in Nikki's system for so long to being coached by Mike and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I think the system actually doesn't change very much. Coach Mike was already in charge of a lot of the offense when Coach Nicky was here. So I think that kind of allowed for a pretty smooth transition. And I know he doesn't really want to change too much. So it's been all right. And I think the team has had a really positive attitude and we've remained competitive, whether it's in the preseason games or in camp itself. And so we're just going to continue to keep that energy.
Next question's from Raphael Haynes from 3-Point Conversion. Go ahead, Raphael.
Hey, Elizabeth. Hope all is well. I have a two-part question. First part is just knowing that it's the 25th season, what was the player that you grew up, whether you idolized or just was your favorite player, whether it was
Did we lose you?
Yeah,
can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, sorry about that. Hey, Elizabeth, I have a two-part question. First part was just knowing it's the 25th season and, we're celebrating. Was there any player that you grew up watching that you say was your favorite or you idolized or wanted to play like? And then the second part is knowing that you've been in Atlanta for a while and you've seen this transformation of this team, what do you like about this team now and the parts that you all are bringing in?
Okay, to answer the first question, I would say probably Lisa Leslie was one of my favorites to watch, and I also really like watching Yolanda Griffith. She was just she rebounded like crazy. She was a competitor, and obviously Lisa is a legend at the center position. And for our team now, I mean, I think speed kills. We have a lot of speed. We're excited to play fast. Even the post players, we have a lot of speed as well. And I think we have a nice balance of youth and veterans and experience. And we want to be competitive and we want to find that balance between youth and experience to remain a really competitive team throughout the season.
Thank you.
Next question is from Spencer Nussbaum from the Next. Go ahead, Spencer.
Hey, Elizabeth, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. I wanted to ask, I know you've always had an interest in medicine. You had the E-Talks with Doc series, you're on pre-med track in college. Can you talk a little bit about the W's efforts to get people vaccinated and educated about vaccines and, if you see yourself having a role in all of that?
Yeah. Our union has done a really good job of connecting us with doctors, epidemiologists, public health experts, and giving us access to them to ask questions about the vaccine and about vaccine education, because I think that's really important, especially when COVID is disproportionately affecting Black and brown people. And so I've tried to make sure that players have any education that they need. And, the more vaccinated players, the better.
Next question is from Devontae Hughes. Go ahead, Devontae.
Hey, Elizabeth, give us a stat line. What kind of statement do you want to make in game one?
A stat line of game one? Like individually?
Yes.
I think a double-double would make a statement. I know our rebounding is something that we did not do so well in the past couple of years. And so any stat line with a double-double, I think, would be impactful.
And last question, we'll go back to Brandon Sedge. Go ahead, Brandon.
Elizabeth, we were talking to Coach Mike, and he was saying that if you guys play the right way, that y'all can be a problem. Can you tell me a story or a moment in training camp where you realize the potential that you'll have?
I think we've had plenty of those moments. I think most recently, probably Ari was bringing the ball up the court, just like zooming past everyone, swung it to Shatori in the corner for a three, and it was just like bang, bang. And I think that was a moment where we saw our speed like in real time, and saw that even if you're back, like there was really nothing you could do. And there have been a lot of moments like that where everyone steps back and says, whoa, like we really have some talented players and some quick players.
I lied. We do have one more question. Let's go to Alex Glaze from 11 Live. Go ahead, Alex.
Hey, Elizabeth. I'm just curious, it feels like over the years, the WNBA is getting a lot more attention, from the orange hoodies the NBA players are wearing to, in the bubble, you guys were getting a lot of attention for, social justice issues and your stance on that. And just what does this next step look like, especially this year, as you guys have a lot of new things, with the 25th, year, just what is the next step for the WNBA and how do you guys continue to build on this momentum?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at our team and even with all of our changes, that they're good. And I think we've done a good job of, rolling with the punches and embracing those changes. And in regards to social justice, I mean, that work really never stops. I think a lot of times we see progress and we see, some positive feedback. And then we're also reminded of the reality of the times that we're in. And I don't think that WNBA players are going to back down. I think we're going to continue to find unique ways to make sure that our voices are heard, and ultimately do the right thing.